Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing. Yes, we're back. Just trying to make sure the mic levels are correct. Trying to be professional. Trying to sound like the Monster Shot podcast and their incredible microphones, incredible plugins. Simon, can you hear me? Are you happy with all this, Simon? Now you're doing the mixing and the editing. Can you hear it okay?
I'm not doing anything like that. That's why we missed a month, because you left it to me.
So yes, welcome to episode number 5 of the Miserable Metal Mind podcast. A podcast that is geared around myself, Thrash Tash Bolton, Paul the Machine Hutchins, as we try to cheer up Simon the Miserable Man with recent metal music. Myself and Paul enjoy new heavy metal music. Simon does not. Each month we meet up and suggest albums we hope will change Simon's miserable metal mind. You can find us on Spotify with the tracks that we choose included, if you're a paid subscriber, a small snippet if you're not, and we are on Apple Podcasts, YouTube and a few other platforms if just the talking is your kind of thing. Sometimes we manage to entice a guest to join us in trying to convince Simon about new music, and this is one of those times. We are joined for this episode by a drummer and a rocker from one of the best rock and roll bands this country has ever produced. We are grateful he has spared his time for us to help try and convince Simon with his new band's new album. He's a bastard and he's coming for you. I would like to introduce Dane Campbell from Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons.
Yay! That was quite a welcome. Very nice of you to say some of those things you said, so thank you. It's great.
Well, very nice of you to join us.
Ah, it's cool. It's nice to be a guest for once.
So, on the first bit, we talk about what we've been up to. So, what have we been up to, gentlemen?
Someone go first.
Right, I'm going to start then, because I've always got gigs to impress you with or to bore you with. But it's been a while since we did our last podcast, so I'm not going to go back in time. I'm just going to give you the recent ones, which was the weekend, which was Fear Factory at SWX in Bristol on Saturday night, which was much better than I was expecting, because the last time I saw them with Burton C. Bell, they were an absolute car crash. But they've got a new singer, Milo Silvestro, who is from Rome, and he certainly did a good job. The band played what I would basically say was a pretty safe set, with 5 tracks from Obsolete, 4 from Demanufacture, so it was 9 of the biggest tracks that they played, and a couple of other classics like Martyr from Soul of a New Machine. And then on Sunday night I was back at the Patriot. I haven't been up there for a couple of weeks, but I went to see one of my favourite UK bands, Blind River, who were playing there supporting American Stoners Sasquatch, who were absolutely magnificent, who were only playing, according to Setlist FM, their 10th ever show in the UK in 20 years. So I feel quite privileged to have seen them.
Amateurs.
Amateurs indeed. And then Sunday afternoon I had Dane Campbell, the rock and roll estate agent, round, because we're putting our house on the market, and Dane is going to be part of the team that is going to be marketing the house for me. So another string to his bow.
Is that something you do after every gig, Dane?
I wish.
Tell the spectators to throw some flies into the audience. Here's some houses for sale.
Funnily enough, that when we played the Patriot, because that's quite local to where I am, I did actually have some flyers on the merch desk. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to spread awareness. You've got to spread awareness, especially with this kind of work. People just need to be aware that you're doing it. And then when they talk to someone about maybe looking to move in that area, they go, "Oh, Dane from the Bastards does that. Why didn't you give him a call?" So I guess that's the idea. You know, it's planting the seed for something that might happen, you know, a year or a couple of years ahead. Hopefully I'm still doing it then. But yeah, that's the idea. It's not the kind of thing everyone does every year, obviously. So, but it's just reminding people.
Yeah, rock and roll estate agent.
There we go. So that's me.
Are you looking for a house without a garden, Paul? Because I'm just worried that you'll not be able to listen to any new music whilst gardening. So, how big is the garden you're getting?
We're looking for a bigger garden, smaller house. But Dane's been in the garden. It goes on a bit, doesn't it, Dane? So.
It's humongous. It's brilliant. It was a really cool house, actually, and yeah, a lot of character to it. So hopefully, I can do a good job for you.
I think selling it shouldn't be the issue. It's us finding somewhere that we want is going to be the challenge. But it's early days, and I've got the best man on board, so we're good.
Woohoo!
Well, I've not been up to too much really, because I've been away. But I have been listening to new music. That new Prong album's tickling me a lot. I like that a lot. I listened to the Judas Priest single today, the new release.
Yeah,
it's quite good.
Most Judas Priest stuff is.
Well, I'd say, we've been there, haven't we, Simon? Have you heard it? Have you heard it, Simon? Obviously, since you're a massive fan.
No, first time I've heard about this with you telling me.
No, I'm not listening to new music unless I have to.
Exactly.
I haven't heard it. I'll have to listen to it.
It's Judas Priest, if that makes sense, but it's quite enjoyable.
I saw a collaboration that Rob Halford did with Doro the other day.
Yeah.
What was that about?
He did two, didn't he? He did Living After Midnight, and he also did a cover of Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was the one I saw, and I was like,
Yeah.
That's all we need to say about that.
Yeah, let's leave it at that, eh?
Yeah. It might come back in the moans and groans at the end, gripes about cover versions and collaborations, but we'll see how I feel. Are you not going to mention Peru then?
I don't think anybody's really interested in my holiday.
I am. I'd love to go to Peru.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to go on about it, but it was an extremely good holiday. Yeah, it's one of those places. If you do fancy going, you will enjoy it there. It's everything you'd imagine and more. Yeah, once in a lifetime. But
I did like the fact you were moaning about being hot.
Well, you see, we'd gone from a quite cold place in Peru, very high up, straight to the Amazon rainforest. And when we got there, they said it's actually very hot for this time of year. And it was, Jesus Christ, it was 39 degrees and 60% humidity.
I'm beginning to see a pattern here. You go to somewhere hot and then you complain about it, because you did the same when you went to see Rammstein in Lisbon.
I did.
He did.
I did. But it's not often I complain.
Just wait for them to come to Haslingden, wherever it is you live.
Who?
You. If you don't want to moan about the weather.
I don't think Rammstein are coming to Haslingden.
Never say never.
Actually, yeah, on the way down.
Yeah.
Haslingden Working Man's Club.
Yeah.
Du hast.
Is that what it's called?
It is now. They're going to put a plaque up outside it. Simon Tubbs renamed it Du Hast Centre. That's not right, is it? Well, yeah. Besides that, I've done no gigs since Riffulation, but we've got Thrash Chester coming up.
We have indeed.
Let's hope there's no one there slagged off.
There's bound to be.
Yeah, give it time.
Well, we'll be there.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Well, slagging nails off a daily occurrence for me, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't see him in person, I do get a text message just calling me a wanker.
Yeah. That's friendship.
Yep.
So come on, Dane, what have you got coming up? We all know, but let's go. Let's have it out there.
Yeah, well, in terms of attending gigs, I don't get to do that much these days, but I did go to one, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Not very heavy metal at all, but a local band from Wales that are doing a reunion tour. You guys would probably hate them. They're called Kids in Glass Houses. It's more of like a pop rocky band.
I don't know.
You won't like them. I know you.
I probably will like them.
Yeah, Simon will. Even if he doesn't, he'll just say he will just to be a dick.
Yeah, well, they were like, when I was around playing in bands, local bands, they were like one of the up and coming Welsh bands. Like, they're almost kind of. They were on radio and they played all the big festivals, and they got to a point, and then they kind of called it a day. Like, I think it was 10 years ago, and they decided this year to do a reunion for like an anniversary of their first album.
Right.
So it was it was like all my friends I used to hang out with were there. Loads of other people I recognise from like the scene back in the day when I was part of one. I don't feel like I really am now. But yeah, it was good. It was Cardiff University, totally sold out, great hall. So, pretty big gig, really. It was the first night out me and my wife had since we'd had a baby 6 months ago. So that was nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So it was more like, it was a big occasion for us. Like, we had to have my parents came over and babysat. So it was a bit like checking my phone every 5 minutes to check it was all right. But yeah, other than that, I played Hard Rock Hell Festival the other day in Great Yarmouth.
Okay.
We headlined a Thursday night with the Bastard Sons, and it was good actually. Pretty cool. We've done it a few times before in numerous locations around.
I know. I've seen you at one of them.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played like my old band Squad played. It was back in Minehead, probably like 16 years ago. We played Twisted Sister headlined.
Come on.
That was great. That was such a great night. And we played like in the middle of the day on one of the small stages. But I remember it fondly because a few of our friends came up from Cardiff. But they gave us a couple of chalets to stay in, and like we were like, "Oh my God, you have to come up! This is incredible!" And they made the trip up. And we had at 2 a.m. in the morning. We set up a small drum kit and a guitar amp, and we were just jamming in our. And we'd obviously had a few drinks. We were just rocking out in our chalets until they told us like, "You've got to stop, or we've got to kick you out." And then we had to stop. But there was a band called Chthonic. They're like a
they're
band.
They're
somewhere.
from Taiwan, I think.
Taiwan, that's it.
Taiwan, yeah,
that's it. And they played the same day or whatever, and they just come and joined the party. And their guitarist, I don't know his name, was like riffing out with me. So there's a video on YouTube somewhere of me rocking out on this drum kit in the middle of a living room in a chalet with a guitarist from Chthonic riffing, and everyone is just like. Just dancing and going crazy. Like, there was about 7 of us in total in this room. It was a good time. So, like, Hard Rock Hell, there's a bit of controversy, I think, recently about them not paying bands and stuff. So, like, it's difficult because I've never really seen that side of it. But, like, that sucks for the bands if they have played and they haven't been paid and stuff. But I've had good times at their festivals, many years in a row, really, or every other year. They took us to Ibiza once for a Hard Rock Hell Ibiza gig thing. I might have done that twice. I can't remember. I might have done it twice. But yeah, they're pretty cool. And but I think that's the only musical things I've been involved with, to be honest. I haven't. Yeah, that's pretty good for me though. That's a busy month. Being a new dad, that's quite a lot.
How long is it since you've been back? You've been out in Europe though as well. You were out in Europe with Fury.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about touring Europe. I mean, yeah. Sorry, were you not all doing that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. 3 weeks. It was three and a half weeks in Europe, headline run, and then that ended with Full Metal Holiday in Mallorca. So that was incredible as well. Actually, yeah, that was crazy.
I've never actually heard of that. What's that?
Full Metal Holiday. It's something to do with the people who run Wacken Festival. It's something to do with that. So basically, they book out. They said it was a 4-star all-inclusive resort. The 4-star is arguable, but it was nice enough. It's got a private beach area, swimming pool, lots of different restaurants. Basically, they hire that out. They sell tickets to sell the whole hotel out. It's mainly German clientele, but there was a few other people from around the world there. There's one stage, basically, and there's a few other like acoustic events going on around the beach. But it's basically a 7-day festival.
Wow!
Different bands every day. We only stayed for 2 nights, to be honest, but it was good fun. We had a good night, and we landed the day of my birthday, and we were playing the following day. So we had a good night out there, chilling and drinking free cocktails and playing the punching bag thing in the arcade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because none of us are any good at punching people, but our sound guy, he's definitely the skinniest out of everybody. Definitely weighs less than all of us, and he had the strongest punch by far. But he is a karate black belt, so that's probably why.
It's all about the technique.
It is about the technique.
It's all about your centres.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I've been trying to do the estate agency thing as much as I can since I've got home, and there's been ups and downs with that. So yeah, I sold the house in Cardiff after it was on the market for 3 days, so that was a good success story. It's not always that easy, but yours might be, Paul. We'll see. But
look at his face light up.
Don't expect a 3-day sale.
I don't want a 3-day sale.
No, the average. I think the average at the moment is like 8 to 9 weeks of it being on the market. That's like average, and it's probably growing now because it is a bit harder right now. Anyway, let's talk.
So what he's saying there is, Paul, get looking.
That's how it starts, mate. The wife starts looking, and then all of a sudden the house is going on the market.
Yeah, yeah, that was the reason, because you weren't allowed to view houses without your own house being on the market, which is,
yeah.
We wouldn't do that, my company, but other companies do that.
Ooh. Right, so come on, let's get down to albums. Paul, do you want to go first?
Just so you know, Neil, I've not been up to anything, but thanks for asking.
It's honestly, it's like most things. I forget you're there.
You know, don't worry about it. I've done absolutely fuck all. Onto the album.
I'm not even sorry.
Oh God! It's not like your podcast, Dane, is it?
Well, no. Well, that's right. When you asked me what have I been up to, I'm like, I assumed I was going to be last, if at all.
Well, have you actually done anything, Simon?
Well, since we last spoke, I've only finished Barcelona Ironman. You know, you forgot about that, haven't you?
That little thing.
That little thing, yeah. Thanks for asking. So I did it. 3-time Ironman, you know.
Wait a minute. How many Ironmen have you done, Simon? How many Ironmen have you done?
3 now.
How many times have you done Ironman, Simon?
I've done it 3 times now. Neil, thanks for remembering.
And what was the time that you managed?
The latest time in Barcelona was 11 hours and 8 minutes.
And that's quite spectacular, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very good, especially for me.
Especially for anybody. No, I've got to say, well done, even though I forgot.
Thanks, Dane. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, cheers. So, other than that, I don't think I've done anything else.
Right, album, there
we go. I'll tell you what I did do, though. On just going to move my cursor over there, it's doing me head in. On, we had half term not so long ago, and took the kids to a library, because they've never been in a library. And as they're looking round, this guy walks in, straight up to the librarian, and says, "Excuse me, can I have some fish and chips?" And the librarian goes, "Excuse me, sir, but this is a library." He goes, "Oh, I am sorry. Can I have some fish and chips, please?"
Oh, dear God.
I tell you what, that joke's been tickling me for 2 weeks.
Come on, Paul, pull us out this slump.
Okay.
You can use that game as an icebreaker for the house sales. If you're thinking a couple aren't really interested in the house, pull out that joke. They'll be putting an offer in no time.
Straight away,
yeah.
Just to stop any more coming, I would imagine. Quick, just buy it so we can get out of here. Right, what are we doing? Music. What album was I doing? Memorial by Soen.
Yes.
Okay, so what track did I pick? Violence.
You did.
Go. Okay, so Soen are a Swedish progressive metal band formed in 2004. Didn't really come to fruition until 2010. Project of former Opeth drummer Martin Lopez. Memorial is the band's 6th album and the 3rd since Lotus in 2019. What is it about them that I like? Everything, really. It's the cinematic soundscapes that they create. They can be really heavy, but they can be very, very delicate as well. And they've got in Joel Ekelof's the singer. He's got one of the best voices I've heard for a good while. I like the harmonies, I like the melody and the compositions. I think it's reasonably clever music. I also like the fact that all the songs are short, which will appeal to Simon after some of the ones we've had in the past. It's a band with 4 letters in the name, so it's another tick. And all the songs are actually one word, so not that I picked it because of that. And I actually saw a friend of mine at the gig on Sunday night, who had been to see them at Shepherd's Bush a couple of weeks ago, Shepherd's Bush Empire, which is probably 1,500 people, I would think, in there.
Wow.
And there were 300 people there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he said it was virtually empty. So, obviously...
We've all been there.
Yeah.
What? Shepherd's Bush Empire?
Well, no. Where you think it'd be a lot of people tonight, and then 2 men and his sheep turn up.
Yeah.
And the owner of the place turns up and goes, "Oh, it was packed last weekend. All right, we should have fucking played then."
It's a lot worse when you're in the band and that happens, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's Soen. That's my album this month. It was my album last month as well.
I'll jump
It's
in
funny
with this
because
one.
last month you said it was crap.
It's grown on me.
Well, it's grown on me too. I've been a fan for a long time. I was a little bit disappointed with the last album, Imperial, but this one I just love it. Lotus was amazing. One of my best albums of all time. I think I have that as a perfect album to be honest with you. But yeah, I love it. The guitar solos, Pink Floyd style, wonderful vocals as Paul mentioned, wonderful musicianship as Paul mentioned. Everything that Paul mentioned, I agree with. Standout track is the Hallowed. The female vocals in there, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, just love it. So it sounds like you liked it as well, Dane?
Yeah, well, yeah. To be honest, I've never heard of the band before. No idea who they were.
Okay.
I had a feeling they were Swedish or something. I didn't Google them or look into them. I just listened to the album, just without knowing anything about them. And I saw the album cover. I was like, okay, it's probably going to be heavy. And I was like, oh, this is rather melodic. I quite like this because I'm not into this. I'm quite open-minded. I'm not into shouty, too heavy stuff. That's not my thing, and I admit that. Screamy, shouty, I'm not into that. It's got to have melody in it. If it's heavy with melody, great. I love that. And yeah, I guess this would fit into that category. I didn't know who the drummer was or anything. I didn't look into it, but I thought all the musicianship was, you could tell it was very, very well done. The production was top notch. The vocal was a standout. Some tracks I thought, this is being critical, I thought it was a touch on the cheesy side, like a little bit.
So would that be Unbreakable, the second track?
Maybe.
Because that reminds me of a boy band. Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Unbreakable.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a boy band.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm not going. I don't think it was like too cheesy by any means, but it just had an element of a bit of cheese. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely guilty myself of not exposing myself to new music. Not that this is a new band, after what you said, but for me it was new, and I did enjoy it. Yeah, so thanks. For recommending it. I don't know what else I can really say. I didn't notice the track names were all one word.
I didn't notice that. Paul.
I quite like that. But yeah, I'd probably it would interest me to listen to more of their back catalogue now after hearing that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So well,
listen to Lotus.
Yeah, Lotus is, like I say, for me, it's a perfect album. I was going to say almost perfect, but actually perfect. I love that album.
I'll download it now and give it a try.
So, Simon Tubbs, the Miserable Metal Mind. Obviously, you loved this, didn't you?
Well, half and half. I think last month I didn't really like it, and I've listened to it again today, and I'm 50-50 on this. It has big riffs, big sound. It's for me, as I think I said this when we last spoke about it, but it's massively overproduced for me. It seems like every single second of the song is so finely tuned. There's no real space for any of the songs to just breathe, and the singer for me, I don't like him. You've all said you like him, so maybe that's me.
Well,
maybe it's me and not you again, but it's like the song Icon that starts really, really good, and I'm thinking this is going to be an absolute banger of a song. And then after, when the opening riff and that dies down and he starts singing, I'm like, I just want more from the band. I just want something else to happen. It feels like every song, there's a good song in there, but for me, it withers out. If that probably doesn't really make much sense, but you cannot
use the word withered with that album. No, no.
But that, yes, like I say, 50-50. It has grown on me, so maybe a couple more listens and I like it. But I just feel like every song could just have been just something better about it. It feels like they're nearly there, and then it just the songs lose something in them for me.
Yeah,
So
you're wrong.
I'm not.
You are wrong. You are wrong. To say that the production or the mixing is too good. I mean, that's.
I know what you mean. You want it to be a bit more raw, like or
absolutely
less perfect.
Some bands you don't want to be like that, do you?
But I think sometimes when things are too, the feel of the song and the music gets lost in the production because you've spent too much time on every little note. You can't have a loose note, you can't have a bum note, you can't have a guitar string get scratched there, you can't have a cymbal out of place. Everything has to be absolutely perfect, and that's not what I want in my music. I want things to be, have a mistake in there, have a bum note in there, leave it a bit loose. And when I hear albums and bands like this where they are so overproduced, then it does lose something for me.
But we did this last time, so what about Tool? I know you like Tool, and Tool is just as...
Yeah, but I will say this, Tool write better songs.
Okay. You're also wrong, again.
I'm not.
I think I hear the Tool actually don't record to a click track.
Yeah, I mean,
so there's a bit more movement in it, which I know what you mean. I think.
Yeah, I mean, the drums on Tool and the drums on this, they are the leagues apart. This guy's not in Danny Carey's league.
It's not Danny Carey's league, but it's not far off either. Nobody's in Danny Carey's league. Maybe Dane, maybe, but.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I can't. The screen isn't big enough to show you. But we do have the same initials.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's about all I've got in common, and I use the same brand drums as him. There you go.
Oh well.
There we go.
That's our only commonalities. I don't know if that's a word.
So yes, Tool probably do have that to an effect, but their songs are just better. So it doesn't really become a thing. But when I'm starting to get bored in the song and thinking, why isn't this, Tool don't do that to you, do they? Because there's something different in every song of theirs.
Something around the corner coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Unless it's a 40-minute drum not even solo, just pissing about with bongos. That's a bit annoying.
Yeah, but you can fast forward that.
Yeah, you can. You can. Right, so we're going to say we did not convince you.
No.
Fail.
No, but if the recording fails another 3 times, then
I might like
by
it.
March, you might like it.
I tell you what I will do though. I will download that other album. I'm going to listen to that other album that Neil says is perfect. Which fucking hell, that is a statement.
Well,
Perfect.
I will stand by that album.
Yeah.
Sorry, that statement. And
But will you sit down by it?
I shall caress and stroke it.
Well, like, the idea of a perfect album, to me, I've never really thought about that. Are there any other albums you guys would say were perfect then? There was no faults to them at all?
Probably. I would have to think about it. So that's how you say it. It's like, oh, but I don't like that track, or that annoys me. There is nothing on that particular album that annoys me. Oh, look what Paul's brought up.
Rush. Yeah.
Rush? They've not even done a perfect song, let alone a perfect album.
Fuck off. Fuck all the way off. And when you get there, fuck off a bit more.
There goes next month's classic.
Right, I shall throw mine into the mix. This month I have gone for Morass of Molasses. Most people that I know and like, that's why Simon didn't know I like Morass of Molasses. Fortunately for me, this album is a really, really good one. This is a genuine attempt to convert Simon into liking something new. I picked this because the drumming, to my untrained eye or ear, is magnificent. Guitar work is tremendous. The blues guitar is tremendous. I think Simon might have an issue with Bones' vocals, but we'll see. It's excellent stoner groove. I love the bluesy sound. I love the live acts. They're really, really good. And I shall pick the track Naysayer to convince Simon. Okay, I will go to Paul for the first response.
Okay, so I really like this band. I do like a bit of stoner. I do like a bit of groove. I like Bones. I like his vocals. He's a genuinely nice guy. If you ever met him, and actually,
I have.
They're better live than they are on record.
They are.
So my only criticism with this album, much as I like it and I've listened to it and I did a review of it earlier in the year when it came out, is that even though it's relatively short, it's only about 37 minutes long, it does kind of merge a little bit for me. That was the only thing. But having said that, I could put this album on quite comfortably while I'm doing something else, or I could sit down and listen to it while I'm doing nothing else, and it wouldn't bother me either way. But I think I would have liked to have gone to see them on their 10th anniversary tour, but they were playing in the Griffin, and I hate the Griffin over in Bristol. It's like playing in someone's front room. More than 10 people in there, and it's like a sweat box, and I don't do sweat very well, so I missed them. But I've seen them in Fuel in Cardiff a couple of years ago, and they were great there, really good. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a good album.
Dan?
Right, this, again, never fucking heard of them. No offence. Don't know anything about them. First track came on, I was like, whoa, this is banging. And I was like, I detected stoner vibes, and I'm like, this is the kind of, I'm more into this kind of rock than I am like heavy metal, I suppose, like with my taste. So anything that's got like a slight vibe of Sabbath to it, I'm like, I can get into this. But it's done, yeah, it was done really well. Rhythmically, I thought there was a lot of interesting things going on. Yeah, like you said, the drummer was cool. I guess it's more my style of drumming. I could comfortably jam along to these songs once I knew them a bit better. I think could be quite fun. Lots of changes. Guitar, yeah, bluesy guitar. I prefer bluesy guitars than cheesy metal guitars. No offense to cheesy metal guitarists. I feel more from it. I feel like it does something more to me than someone playing lots of notes in different modes and shit like that. I've never been into the like shredding and stuff. I'm not into
Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
That's very much your dad's sound, though, isn't it, Dane?
Yeah,
your dad's very bluesy, isn't he?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm probably influenced by that to some degree, but you know, like I was early on when I was like literally a kid, and like I was getting exposed to people like Satriani and that, but he's still like very blues focused. A lot of his playing is. He does a lot of other stuff as well, and even like people like Steve Vai, he's a bit more out there, a bit more experimental with like when it comes to like whatever scales he's playing, but like ultimately he can crank out some wicked blues stuff as well. And I just think I've always led on to playing that. And I played in a blues band before, and I used to work in a guitar shop, and it was always the blues players that made me feel something, whereas someone who was really technical and playing all the shredding didn't really make me feel anything, even though I could be like, oh wow, that's amazing, I could never do that. It never made me feel anything. But anyway, that was cool. Riff's good. There was a particular track I thought was really cool. Prima Materia.
Okay.
I just thought it was a really cool groove. Vocally, didn't love the vocals. Didn't hate them. But like the first time I listened, I was like, oh, they're quite low in the mix, which is kind of cool in a way. But still, there was nothing really stand out for me vocally at all. But it wasn't, it was a bit, I wouldn't say shouty, a bit growly in parts, but not.
It is, yeah. You can say that. You can say that. It is a bit shouty and growly, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like to my limit of how much shouty and growly I can put up with. Yeah. So it was like, I think if the vocals were more growly and shouty, it would have spoilt the whole experience for me, personally. Mm-hmm. But it was just about under my threshold. I'd love to see him. I'd love to go and watch him play in a small club with a pint. And
yeah, that's the perfect environment.
Earplugs in. Like I would enjoy that. I'm sure. Like so, it's a name that I'm not going to forget that name because it's quite a unique name. And again, I'd never heard of him, to be honest. And looking at the artwork, it's kind of cool. I like it when artwork is like hand drawn. I just feel like that's what. I don't know. I just think it's cool.
Rather than AI, is it?
Yeah, rather than AI, and when it's just a photograph or something, I'm just like, yeah. I know that's art. It is art, but like, I like hand drawn things really. Like I do like that.
Yeah. Simon. So hang on a minute. I like it. Paul likes it. Dane likes it. Simon's gotta like it.
I'll do a quick impression for you.
That's Black Braid from a few weeks ago.
This guy.
It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it was not.
It's like crap singing from a death metal band, just without the crap death metal music to go along with it.
Yeah, listen
in parts. The singing in this is fucking shit for me. I can't get past it. But like you've all said, like Dane said, it's so low down in the mix. I just don't get it. I don't understand why you do that. Like, put the fucking lyrics up. Let's hear the singer. Every song, the first track starts again. It's a bit like Soen. It starts really well, but it goes into another direction. I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, can we not just keep it as it started and carry on in that vein
through the whole album?
Well, 90% of it, yeah, please. I'd love that. It does nothing for me, this at all. It starts off good. That do 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 do. I'm into that, and then there's a bit of a time change, and off it goes into something else. I'm like, oh god, what they're doing? Why can't we just stick to what we started with? But
because that's boring. No, it's not. That's not fair. That's not fair.
What, you just called them boring? You said they were good.
No, with you saying sticking to the same. Yeah, and that's not fair. That's not boring either. But that's the niche that they want to go for. A niche that appeals to me and Paul and maybe Dane.
Well, it's just uninspiring to me. I was bored. 37 minutes of my life I'm not going to get back. Just want to say this 4 times. I've listened to this album 4 times.
That's more than me.
Yeah, yeah. Every time
I had this week.
Every time I put it on that album, it starts off good, and I'm thinking maybe this time it'll be different, and it just isn't. I just get bored. So track 2, when you know it's track 2 as well, you know, like Hutch is absolutely right. Every song feels like they're just merging into one to the other.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case, but
BBB.
You're allowed
That's
to
me new things. BBB. Bored beyond belief.
So another failure.
You failed again.
We're getting
5
closer,
for 5. Neil isn't.
Closer. No,
I'm getting further away. Right.
Magic.
Come on, Dane. Let's see if you can convince him.
All right. I guess this is tough. Yeah. Well, I don't listen to much new music, so I'm using my own album, and it's a bit of a cheeky way of plugging it.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, Kings of the Asylum, was released, I think, September the 1st, maybe. I should know that. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it was a long time coming since we did our last one. It's like we don't class ourselves as metal at all. There's elements of metal in some of the songs, I suppose. We don't do the shouty, but our singer's got quite a gravelly voice, which suits the kind of heavy, gives us maybe a bit of a heavier edge to it. But it's, there's melody in the way he sings. Maybe there's one track that's a bit more monotone, but that was the idea. It's bluesy guitar solos, lots of guitar solos going on for people who like guitar music. I love how the album sounds. I think we've found a balance between keeping a bit of it raw sounding, but making it sound like a modern rock album. But it's not like overly polished or shiny as some modern rock albums are. We're trying to. It's weird. We're trying to appeal to maybe the old school rockers who maybe were into my dad's bands, but like obviously appeal to younger people that are just getting into new rock music, and hopefully grab a few people from each category. The track we've gone for is, I guess I chose this because it's a bit heavier really, and it's called, it suits the podcast name a bit more. It's called No Guts, No Glory. Yeah, so that was an interesting one. It just reminds me, actually, that almost didn't make the album cut.
Oh, wow.
It was almost on the B-side list, or Japanese bonus track list, or whatever.
I was going to say, is there a B-side list anymore?
Nah, no, exactly. No one really. They kind of get wasted now.
You must be able to put them out for Gareth Richards to buy, surely.
Probably. You'd buy them. But yeah, it was. We had that on a track called. Is it Monster? That's on like the bonus track for the CD. So that people can buy the CD and get an extra track. But this one, I convinced. It was mainly my brother who also produced the album, Todd, who plays guitar in the band. That I was like, I don't want to get rid of that track. I said I really love it. It's got a really cool guitar solo section in it. It's it's got the heaviness, the double bass drums that we don't have a hell of a lot of on this album. But I still think it works, and it's obviously about war and stuff like that, which is a bit of the rest of the album isn't. So I guess it's kind of cool in that way. There's a long history of heavy metal and songs about war.
Yes, there is.
So I'm sure there's going to be people out there that might take to this. But yeah, I think it was well received by our fans, and I think 95% of the reviews I've read have been very positive. So, that's a good thing. But what did you think about it?
You'll get a positive review here. I love it. It sounds terrible talking to you, but I love your band. I've seen you numerous times. I've stood with Paul watching you. It's I like it very much. You've not strayed too far from the path of the other albums. So when you're talking about picking tracks, who picked the Track Maniac, the last track? Because that's quite punky, isn't it? That's a bit.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I didn't like that song for it. Like,
right.
And I kind of liked the vibe of it, but then when the way we wrote our songs was we wrote all the music first, did demos for everything. No, we actually went into the studio straight away, recorded all the music, and then gave the instrumental versions to our singer, and we were like, well, write some stuff to go over the top of that. And
right.
Maniac was the last one we did, I think, or one of the last ones. And the first time I heard it, I was just like, I remember being in the car, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I said, this is, I get it's a bit Marmite, and it's nothing like the rest of the songs on the album, which is cool in a way, because like you don't want all the songs to blend into each other. You want there to be some variety.
But as a last track, it does work.
Yeah, it works as the last track, and I settled. I was like, as long as it goes as a last track. But I was just like, I just didn't like the way the vocals were, because it was there was no melody, or a lot less melody than the other songs. But it's most people's favourite track on the album. So I was clearly wrong. I was clearly very wrong with the majority of people, because pretty much most people have said that's their favourite track. Like, people I know and people
I'm not saying it's my favourite. It's not my favourite, but any track that's got the lyric gobshite in it, that is definite.
One of the reviews pointed that out. They were like,
all right.
They did say that. That was quite cool. But it was fun. It was fun to record and stuff like that. I can't. The working title for that song was "No Nonsense Rock and Roll." That was the working title for it, and then it turned into a punk, shouty swear song. So
I'm guessing it's going to be a live staple, I guess.
Yeah, we've been putting it in the set.
It already is.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Right.
So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we're trying to end the set with it, really.
Right, I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. But yeah, glad you liked it.
So Paul, your thoughts? I'm pretty sure I know, but
I can't stand it.
Hey!
Drumming's terrible.
You don't have to go very far. I mean, there's a bloody war pig on my arm by there. I love the fact that this band are carrying on Motorhead's legacy without deliberately doing it. I think Dane and I know some of the certainly the South Wales Motorhead bangers who have been fanatical about the band since Phil started it back in, I think probably the All-Star band, wasn't it, Dane?
Oh yeah.
Even before the Bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people down here that follow this band as religiously as they did Motorhead. But what I like about this album is that it's moved on. With Joel's singing now, I think it's moved on a little bit. The first album I thought was very much, there was a bit of a Motorhead legacy, despite the fact that obviously there was only Phil in there and the rest of the band were there. And you notice it when they play live, because we always get 4 or 5 Motorhead tracks, which is what we want as a fan. We want that, even though I got criticised the other year for writing a review that said they should be playing more of their own stuff, and I got absolutely hammered by people who said, no, we want more Motorhead. And I was going, well, they do Motorhead sets altogether, you know. I'd like to hear more than 5 songs of their own material, especially after they've got 3 albums now.
Yeah.
But I can't fault it. I mean, I've heard a couple of the tracks live because we were at the album launch, and we had great fun when we did the video for Strike the Match down in Fuel when we did the listening party, and I'd already had it for a couple of weeks because I'd done the review for Metal Talk. So, look, I've even got it on cassette. That's how much of a fan I am.
I don't even have one of those. I don't have one.
I own 2 cassettes, right? That one. And that one, which is the last bloody album.
Apparently there's a resurgence in cassette collecting. Apparently that is a thing, and that's why we did it.
I bought the Number of the Beast one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've
got loads to sell. I'm going to dig them out of the attic.
Not that you recorded on top of the pops.
If you've got the vintage ones, they're very collectible now.
Oh, I've got loads.
Yeah.
Cool.
You still need one of them, though. You still need one of them.
I better say you've lifted up a pencil for people listening and not your penis.
Thanks, Neil.
So, talking of penis, come on, Simon. What's your thoughts?
Well, I've got a confession to make. Is I've never been a massive Motorhead fan.
Okay.
They're just one of them bands that have always just seemed to pass me by. You know the big tracks, and then after that, they've kind of passed me by Motorhead. But I've got to say, so when they said, you know, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, I actually did say, who's Phil Campbell? And they said, the guitarist from Motorhead, you fucking numb idiot. But this album is fucking brilliant. I absolutely love this album.
He's not just saying that. He's not.
It is right up my street. This, everything about it, every song I fucking love. I actually think the last track is probably the weakest one. But I totally get why you'd be playing it live, because the FUCK says fuck you. It's going to be massive with a crowd, that, you know, so I totally get it. The riffs are brilliant, the songs are great, the lyrics are great. Not just because you're here, I'd say it if you wasn't here, but your drumming, Dane, is exactly what I fucking like in drumming. Like I was saying before, with the overproduced stuff and other bands where they want to put 85 fills in, you know, one song, and look how technical we are and everything like that, which is great, and it's a place to be. Your drumming, you just let the groove and the riff and the song play out. There is space there. The riffs do exactly the same. You know, you as a band, you're obviously well experienced band, and you're a level above everything else we've had on this podcast. This album is, you know, this album is fucking great, and I loved it. I put it on in the car, and I said to my missus, she said, "Oh, who's this?" I said, "This is one of the albums we're doing for the next show." I said, "What do you think?" She said, "This really good, this." And she's not into, you know, this type of stuff anyway. She is, but not like we are. But honestly, I think it's fucking brilliant, and I can't wait to see you live.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Wait, where are you? I know where Paul is. Where are you guys situated anyway? Near you?
I'm just outside of Wigan, which is near Manchester base.
Oh,
really?
Friday, November the 24th, the Bread Shed, Manchester. Yeah. There you are.
There we go. Thank you.
That's the one.
I'll be there.
Yeah, cool. Let me know. I'll come and say hello.
Cool. Nice one.
Yeah.
There we go. I actually can't make that date. I know I can't.
Oh, thank God. Then I'm definitely going. But no. I honestly, like I said, you can just tell the whole band you're so experienced. And you said your brother did the production. The production on this is fucking brilliant. You know, hats off to him. I think it's excellent. It's the best thing I've heard all year.
Nice.
By country mile.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Thanks, man.
Hey,
really
anytime. So there you go, you two. If you want to pick more albums like this, and we'll have it might be the happy Metal Mind show.
I have no interest at all in keeping you happy.
It will be in my top 5 of the year, so it won't be a problem.
Good.
It'll be back in next month.
Awesome.
Oh, there's a hint on next month's podcast.
Yep.
Right, so talking of maybe a future classic, what is Simon's now classic?
Oh, this is going to fucking hurt, because I already know what you two think about this. So the album is Power Tripping by the British metal band The Almighty. I think it's the 3rd album they did. The song I've picked is the opening track, which is Addiction. The first time I heard this, I was at Donington when I think it was 92, when they opened Donington with this. I absolutely love this album. So, yeah, here we go.
Right, shall I go first?
Well, as you can hear, listeners, what a fucking great track that was. Let's just hope everybody else feels the same about it.
Oh, hang on, just let me. You know, I can't remember. I know I've listened to it. Hang on, I'm just going through my notes now. Wait a minute.
Can you read?
I listened to it before we set off the podcast. No, I must be able to remember it. Let me think. No, I've got nothing. Utterly zero of an album for me. It's not bad. It's nothing bad, but it's just nothing memorable. Zero memorable. Nothing. Next.
The dictionary definition of classic.
Oh, we're
I
getting
gave
this
it to you
again.
last night. I'm going to give it to you again because it doesn't compute.
This is why the last podcast didn't get recorded.
I won't be fucking surprised.
I'll probably trip it again now, won't I? A classic is a work of art of recognised and established value, judged over a period of time to be of the highest quality and outstanding of its kind.
And
as power tripping as that's everything you've just said.
I can't find anything that relates to power tripping in that. I've got to be honest, I have not played this since the last time because there was no way I was putting myself through it again.
I think I did mention. I quite like the vocals. I do like the Ricky. I like the singer.
It goes on too long. There's about 3 tracks too long on it. It should be about 9 tracks, and I think it's 12.
Should be 1.
Which one?
It's just average, and it's like virtually everything Ricky Warwick does, no matter which band he plays in. He's got that kind of Celtic drum banging behind him, which does my boxing.
But you're a Celt.
I know, but there's Celt. I mean, if he was Scottish, he'd be in a bloody shortbread tin, wouldn't he? So I suppose
I don't mind his vocals.
Leprechaun outfit or whatever. I think that's the wrong side of the border, but yeah. I mean, there's Celt and there's Celt, isn't there? I mean, I don't particularly like bagpipes. In fact, I fucking hate bagpipes. If there were bagpipes on here, I'd have even more of a problem. So let's just thankful there's no bagpipes.
So you're a fan of AC/DC then?
Hey, if there were bagpipes on it, at least you'd remember them.
All right, that's true.
So come on, Dane. Are you with us or with Simon?
I got to like the Almighty. Again, I obviously know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, because I've toured with Ricky Warwick, I got to be careful what I say. He's a nice guy, actually. I never listened to the Almighty. I remember I think my brother had a few of their CDs when I was younger. I don't think this was one of them. Is this meant to be their best album?
For me, yeah, definitely, yeah. The earlier stuff is has a very British sound to it, where I think this one has it's a lot more produced. I think it's more made for like an American market, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that a genuine? Do you think that's the case? Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. If you go back and listen to the first 2 albums, or even the first 2 tracks off the first album, the first 2 tracks off the second album, there's a lot more British rawness rock.
Right.
In there.
I wonder if I would prefer that to this, because I only listened to it once, in all honesty, and I downloaded the bloody deluxe version. It's got about 29 songs, and then
oh my god!
I didn't get. Once I realised I'd hit all the demos, I was like, I turned it off then. But I was like, this is a bit shit, and I was like, when is this album going to fucking end? But I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I like some things. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. I imagine at the time, if I'd heard it at the time, it would have had a different impact on me then. But it is more up my street in terms of just balls out rock music. Like I do generally prefer this kind of stuff. I didn't feel like it had many hooks to it. Like,
nope.
Not enough catchy hooks.
Nope.
I maybe sometimes they catch on like the second or the third or the 8th time. I don't know. The drumming was pretty cool. I thought the drumming was good. Strong rock drummer.
Yeah, he's a good drummer.
Whoever he was. I remember there were some really cool things. I thought, oh, this is my kind of drumming.
Yeah.
I like Ricky Warwick's voice. I think he's got a cool voice.
I think he's got a cool voice. Yeah.
It's kind of like it's gravelly, but
it does seem like he's not. It seems like he's not trying. It just comes out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a natural. Yeah, he's not trying to be anyone else. I know he gets compared to other people and that, but I think he's got his own sound. You know, there was nothing particularly great in the guitar work really, or the songwriting, in my opinion. But like, 5 out of 10. I'm half and half. I think if I listen to it again, there might be a few things that would stand out.
But so when I come see you on the 24th of November, you'll love it.
Yeah, maybe if I'll download the non-deluxe version and listen to it as a whole. Blast it out. It'd probably be alright in a car or whatever.
Yeah,
but I think it's
try it on the bus and see how many times it lasts on the bus.
We don't listen to music on the bus. That never happens. It's just my dad watches crap comedy DVDs, and if we're lucky enough to get the TV, it's what do we watch? I don't know, whatever we can. But we don't really play music. I don't know what else to say really. I thought I was going to like it more than I did because
I think you'd like the second album, which I think's called Soul something. I can't remember what it's called.
I'll
second album.
But they're doing a reunion tour now, aren't they, or something?
They are.
Are they? Right.
Yeah. They just. Yeah, I say just a few weeks ago.
Oh, you missed it then. You've missed it. That's a shame.
I saw them when they were good.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, Simon, would you? This is a genuine question.
Yeah.
Would you accept the other albums are better but different? Do you like this one more because of an emotional attachment from the time you listened to it?
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, being in the crowd at Donington that whole day, you know, it can cloud your judgment from time to time. But no, I was genuinely really excited for this album. I think the first two albums, they're both 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. You know, some albums they just go like that towards the back end of them. But this album, I loved every single bit of it from when it came out. The face, I used to have that. I've told you before. I had that massive poster of the face on my wall for years. I've still got the poster somewhere upstairs. I can't throw it out. It's just one of them things from my childhood. Can't get rid of.
Too sticky.
No, it's seen some things though.
Are the eyes set on it now, are they?
yeah. There's more white stuff over it now anyway than that. It's nearly a full face.
I thought you were talking about Iron Man training.
No.
I didn't realise until a couple of weeks ago that Blaze Bayley sings backing vocals on one of the tracks.
Oh.
I didn't realise that either.
Simon, do you actually like this album?
I absolutely love this album.
Okay.
When the last podcast didn't go through, I very nearly changed it.
No, you can't do that.
No. Oh, no. I feel down on it because I know how you two feel about it now.
And so does everybody else.
Do you guys just generally don't like the Almighty, or is it just this album you think is crap?
They probably never listened to the Almighty.
I haven't
listened to them.
No, they're just a band that, as Simon talked about Motorhead, same for me. I knew of them, but it just passed me by completely.
So
some bands do that though, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So many bands have passed me by, and I know them by name, but I've never actually listened to them. Like some quite big bands, sometimes people mention. I'm like, oh, I've never actually listened to that band.
Yeah.
But I probably don't consume as much music as I should have. When I was a teenager, I was consuming lots,
but as a teenager, you had to buy the album, didn't you?
Yeah.
You actually invest in something in it. Where, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do it now all the time. I download an album, listen to it, judge it within 1 or 2 goes, and it's in my yes or no pile. It's Whereas if you did buy something, you think, I'm going to give that another go. And I'm going to give it another go. And I'm just going to make sure and give it another go. Because you'd invested in it, hadn't you?
Yeah. Which is why people like bands like Rush.
Simon, we're all meeting up in 2 weeks, pal.
I don't care. I can take it. Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
Right, so that's the album covered. Simon, I've had an email.
Oh.
Corey Taylor from Slipknot. He's thinking of retiring, and he's just wondered if you think it's all right.
Apparently, he's got a problem with his knees.
His knees?
Apparently.
Really?
Well, I mean, so this came about a video that we saw where Corey Taylor's on about retiring because of all the pain that he's in. And I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? Pain? What fucking pain can he be in?
It could be in pain. You don't know.
What pain can he be in?
You don't know.
Standing up for an hour and a half every night, singing a couple of songs, then all has to do get back on the tour bus, go back to the hotel, back on the plane, back home. It's not that hard, is it? It's not as if he's got up every day, had to go into a warehouse, do a proper job. You know, if he says I've got a problem with my ears or my vocal cords are going, yeah, fair enough, I understand that. But to say, oh, my body's in so much pain, it's like, fuck off, mate. What the fuck are you on about? He's not in pain. You know, all it is it's the sympathy vote, isn't it? So the next time you see Stone Sour or Slipknot live, you're like that going, oh, God, it wasn't Corey Taylor brilliant because he's singing through all that pain. He is so metal. What a great guy. No, it's all bullshit.
Apparently he doesn't have much money either.
Oh, well.
He did an interview the other day and said Slipknot don't make much money.
I can't believe that.
I can't believe that either.
I understand their show costs are probably very, very high.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure when they headline Download, their fee is
$1 million.
Astronomical.
Yeah.
I would say if he's not got a lot of money, then he's spent it wrong, hasn't he? He's either invested it wrongly, or he's just not looked after it right.
But for me, if he's turning around and saying I'm thinking of retiring, he must financially be able to retire.
True.
Fair point.
You can't say that. So that's why I disagree with you. If the lad wants to retire, he should be allowed to retire. Now,
he can retire all he wants, Neil. That's fine. But saying you're retiring because I'm in pain is just like a cop out. Just say I don't want to do it anymore. Just say I'm bored of touring the world.
Well, Tom Araya said they've got, I didn't go on about being in pain actually, but we all knew his back had gone though.
Yeah, but he didn't get on stage and harp on about it, did he?
No, he didn't. No.
There you go. He got on stage and just cracked on.
He could play a Slipknot show sitting down. People would probably still go.
Yeah, if anyone's there, if they're not all bored, realise that they're not that good a band.
If the rest of the band haven't been fired yet.
If the rest of the band haven't been fired yet, yeah.
Yeah.
But they've retracted that now, haven't they?
Well, I heard they deleted the post, but I don't know if it means he's not being fired or what.
Yeah, they've retracted the statement, but he's still fired. Well, I don't think is it fired? It's no longer needed.
Well, they need a drummer. They need someone to play drums.
No, while we've got drummers,
Dave, have you got something? You got some spare time?
It's not me. I couldn't play that stuff. Someone tagged me on Twitter the other day. Oh, Dane would be great for the job. I'm like, I can't play Slipknot songs. They're like some of the hardest songs in the history of drumming to play. Some of the big ones. Like, it's not my style at all. But I got some ideas of who it might be. But it depends whether they. Well, I think the best drummer for the job would be Eloy Casagrande from Sepultura, because he's fucking amazing.
Yeah, he hits them drums, doesn't he?
He hits the drums, and he can play the fast stuff which is needed. He's got the what do you call it when your limbs do all different things? I don't know. My brain's
dexterity.
Gone. Dexterity. definitely word that comes handy when playing Slipknot songs. Independence, limb independence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is a big thing, but yeah, and like, I think even though Sepultura are obviously a very cool, hard-working band, I think they've obviously reached the ceiling with how big their shows are going to be.
Yes,
and I think he's such an incredible drummer. Like, he does deserve that bigger platform, or potentially, like, otherwise was he just going to play in Sepultura for another 20 years or 10 years? I don't know.
He could probably do both.
Or maybe he could do both with the schedules. Yeah, I don't know. But there's him, and there's another guy who's more famous for being a social media drummer.
Is this Esteban? Whatever
yeah,
it's called.
El Esteparios.
Yeah.
Cipriano,
well, I was going to mention him if you two had seen this little bugger. Is he as good as he looks?
I think he's incredible. I've never watched him play with his band. Apparently, he's in a band, like a metal band. I've never seen.
What's his band?
Like. You'd have to Google it. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh, he was bad as Simon with shit information.
But I would agree. I would agree with same lines as Dane. His videos are amazing, and he is something else of a drummer.
Yeah.
But to his own admission, though, that's hours and days of practice. What you're seeing on there is hours and hours of practice. I would love to see a band that he's been in where he's actually had to write a song. It's fine covering everybody else's stuff and putting your own mark on other things. I'd love to see what his own stuff sounds like. Because I personally don't want to watch a drummer that's doing the stuff he's doing over covers for 90 minutes.
Not for 90 minutes.
Like I was saying before about other bands and Dane's band, is the drumming sometimes can make and break the band.
Yeah. Well, I guess with Slipknot, he'd be replicating the original parts, hopefully.
Yeah.
Especially for now. And it's a lot of it is to do with like the stamina. Like, can you do it for 90 minutes or 2 hours?
Yeah.
That's because when he's doing the stuff in his garage or whatever, he's not really playing hard. He's playing all this incredibly fast stuff, and it's bang on in time. It's incredible the precision he's got.
Yeah,
like that's the one thing. Like I don't like. There's lots of great metal drummers out there, but it's perfectly spaced out and in time. And because he's actually doing it on a video, you can tell it's not being doctored. Because I think he was accused like a while ago of like speeding up his videos, and then he just did like this one-handed video, holding up an iPad with a time ticking.
Did he? Oh, I've not seen that.
It's just like he's a show off. Obviously, it's
oh yeah.
It's not the kind of drumming I like in a band, but from a technical drumming standpoint, like he is another level. And but it's hours and hours and hours and hours of practice that he's put that time in to do, and I haven't, so I'm nowhere near as good as him, and that's why, one of the reasons why is because I haven't.
Well, that's similar to what you were saying about the guitar. The widdly stuff doesn't touch everybody, and the bluesy stuff does, and you could say he's a widdly drummer.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want to watch him play in like a pub rock covers band or something, playing hits and then playing like that. It just wouldn't work.
I would for a bit, but like I've got to agree with Simon, which has never been said before. not for 90 minutes. If someone came in and did a couple of tracks and it's like, Jesus, look at that. But yeah, after you've got past the Jesus, look at that.
It's more of what he does on YouTube is more of a fairground attraction, isn't it? So you want to see it for 5 to 10 minutes, marvel at what he can do, but to see it for 2 hours. Like I say, Slipknot would probably be perfect for him if he's going to replicate Joey Jordison. Then hats off to you. But like Dane's saying, it is stamina. It is like gig fit, isn't it? Really, you've got to build yourself up to that. And so be interested if it is him.
You're missing out. You're missing out on the genuine candidate.
Go on,
Mangini.
Mangini from Dream Theater. He's got a bit of time in his hand now, hasn't he?
Of course. I thought you were going to say Tommy Aldridge.
I know a lot of people have been mentioning him, and it might well be, but how old is he these days? He's getting on a bit, isn't he?
I think most of them are. I don't know how old the guy is that's just left Slipknot. Is he a younger guy, is he? I don't know much about Slipknot.
Jay Weinberg, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume he was like my age, to be honest, like late 30s. So I think I'm not sure why he's left or what. I don't know. I think he was good enough at playing.
Oh
the
Christ!
parts.
No, Mangini won't do it. He's old. He's 10 years older than me. He's in his 60s. There we are.
67. Bloody
He
hell.
might be capable of playing.
No,
it,
he's
but
60. 60. I don't know. Hang on.
He didn't get it.
Sorry, I wouldn't thinking. But yeah, I don't know. But
No.
it might
Well,
be,
I think after this they're not going to ask me, so I'm just going to put my name. Although I'm fit enough to do it,
yeah.
Yeah. 3 Iron Mans in a Slipknot gig.
This
You
is
play
it.
drums. You were a drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's why we're getting on so well, Dave.
Yeah.
Drummers Union.
You should have seen the. You should have seen the shit he gave Ben from Imperium because he was a singer. God, it was terrible. Me and Neil were crying. Honestly.
Singers, they always
Traumatised.
Singers always bugger off when it's load-in time and
That's right.
pack in the van. They'll go and get fucking breakfast or something.
That's right. I always say singers should have their own PA and they can carry the speakers and the mixing desk in and the microphones, not just turn up. So,
Yeah.
but there you go. Yeah.
They get
So
all the glory.
Dane, your Dane obviously does a podcast as well, Drum for the Song, which
Indeed.
he's been doing for a couple of years, and it's a very good listen. Obviously, it's taken a back seat with the touring and stuff at the moment, but you got anyone in the pipeline?
Again, I've actively taken a break. It's mainly because of the baby, really, and the touring happening all together. It's just not allowed me a lot of time. I've got one guest coming up. I don't want to mention his name on here yet because I don't know when it's going to come out. But it's a singer. Right. It's a singer of a band who also plays drums.
Please don't be Dave Grohl.
I
was going to listen. If it's going to be Dave Grohl, I'm unsubscribing.
What do you dislike about Dave?
Oh no! Mate, honestly, I'll tell you.
He would be my dream guest.
Well, just stick around. Stick around, and he'll turn up. He'll turn up sooner or later. It turns up everywhere.
He would be a dream guest for me anyway.
Not for me. I tell it fuck off. I wouldn't be here. I'll tell you when I see you.
Okay.
So Dane? Who was the most difficult interviewee you had on the podcast?
I think I've been lucky enough to know I haven't had anyone super difficult. I
suppose they're coming on by invitation anyway, so they're agreeing to come on anyway, aren't they? So
yeah, there was.
Is it Phil Collins?
I wish. Then that would be good. All these people would probably shoot my ratings up quite high. But
no, not for me. I'd be unsubscribing.
If it was Phil Collins, all right, fair enough. We don't want that. Is it you? Who is all? Again, I don't really want to say names because.
No. It's all right. Maybe
it's
the best.
It's all right. Neil will cut it out anyway. If it's something good, he'll cut it out anyway.
Yeah, you'll cut it out by mistake.
That's the thing, all these people have taken the time to come on, and like I don't want to talk badly about anyone because they've helped me out. So yeah, there's been a few that have been a little bit more difficult. Maybe the answers have been a bit shorter.
Yeah.
And I've just had to kind of end the podcast earlier than I was expecting because I've kind of got to the end. But luckily,
I know I can tell when it comes out, when the episode comes out, and it's like 50 minutes, and then the next one is 2.5 hours, and I think, Christ, I know which one he was enjoying.
Yeah, a lot of it is down to, like, I ask them, like, how long have you got, how much, and then sometimes they'll be like, I've got an hour, is that okay? So that's down on me then to kind of time it, and maybe sometimes I have to skip a couple of questions if time has gone on. But when they say,
we never asked you. How long have you got?
Exactly. But when they say, oh no, I can go as long as you want me to, then it's like, oh God. Because I don't really want to be, like, an hour and a half is perfect for me. Any longer, I know it's, as a listener, it's a bit pushing it a little bit. sometimes I prefer the 40-minute ones, and they've been quite popular. You got to think, you want people to watch or listen to the end of them, really. You don't want people to get bored halfway through, and that helps with algorithms and stuff like that, I think, if they've played the whole thing.
Yeah, but apparently it does, yeah.
It's very difficult, all this YouTube nonsense. Some of my episodes have had quite a few hits, been lucky with, but the vast majority of them is pretty, a couple of hundred if I'm lucky, and it's just like the algorithm's not doing me any favour. But yeah, best guess, easiest to talk to, like ones I remember, like Matt Soen was amazing. He was and he was really early on, and he was like the second interview I did, or maybe a third, I was really nervous then because I'd only just started doing it, so it was like, oh my god, I got this really famous drummer that was in Guns N' Roses coming on, I've never met, and I'm speaking to him on Zoom. And I was really nervous, but he immediately made me feel at ease, and he made the podcast awesome, really. So that was a really good one. I've had a few really good. There's Mike Tirana, who is a drummer. He was really fun. He's an American guy, lives in Sicily now, loving his life, making YouTube. He makes YouTube and TikTok and Instagram content with his drum kit, playing covers and twirling the sticks and all this cool stuff, which I think he does really well. But he's an older guy, but I think it's really cool what he's doing. I think he's
the guy that's really fit, isn't he?
Yeah,
the guy that works out all the time. Yeah, he was amazing. Yeah,
he was an amazing guest. Yeah, he was hilarious, to be honest. The only downside with him, he called me Dana for the entire interview. And I didn't correct him, so I just kind of let him call me it. So, and even though he must have seen my name the way it's spelt, but it's my bad. I should have corrected him. But he was really cool. So I think a lot of people liked that episode. He's just a fun guest, really entertaining. And he still plays live from time to time in his certain bands, and he does like lots of drum clinics and stuff like that, which he's pretty proficient drummer. Really good. Who else was really good? Well, as we were talking about Slipknot, I had Chris Fane on. So Chris Fane was one of the percussionists that left the band.
The one with the
nose.
Oh, okay.
So I did his first interview ever, and he came on, and that was the episode that kind of shot up. I had I don't know, I haven't looked recently. It was on 120,000 views or something like that on YouTube, which is really good. But nothing else has touched those numbers. But it was because it was his first interview ever, and it was a lot of controversy over why and how he's no longer in the band. It was I think it was a lot of rumours going around. He never made an official statement about it. So I think there was a lot of people interested in what he had to say. I didn't want to be a dirt. I didn't want to ask him for all the dirt. I think some people were expecting the dirt and they didn't receive it.
I was going to say, so did he spill the beans?
There was a few things he talked about that give you an idea of what might have happened, but he didn't really,
He was measured, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very measured. Yeah,
measured
that's right.
about it. Yeah.
Which is to be applauded, really.
There's probably a legal
that's true.
Or something about it. I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was told might have been the case, because I've been speaking to him about interviewing him for over a year now, and it was just he changed his number, and then I didn't get his new number, and I was texting him to try and arrange it, and he never got back to me. And then my dad told me about, have you spoke to Chris recently? I was like, no. Oh, he's got a new number. I was like, that's why then. So, and then he did it straight away. Fair play to him. He was great, and he seems like a lovely chap. And again, I'm lucky enough to have. He's quite friendly with my dad, which is why I managed to get the interview. But he wanted to give me his first interview. He's like, I want your son to have the first one, as a favour, because he loves my dad, basically.
Awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah, but check. That might be of interest to some people. He's not strictly a drummer as such, but he played bass in what band was it? Fuck, Will Haven for a while.
Oh yeah.
So so he talks about them really fondly. So yeah, he's a cool guy. But yeah, he was a nice guest to have, and I kept that quite short and sweet because I was just like, this is the one I need to keep short and sweet, really.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was slightly different from some of the normal stuff, so it was good.
Yeah, but I
really
do need to
enjoyed
get
it.
some more. I do need to get some more. There's a lot of guys I've spoke to, and I've been like, yeah, let's get you on, and but I'm having a little break right now, so I might wait till the new year really to start interviewing again. No one really wants to do it Christmas time because people are doing stuff. I do want to get. I did meet Lucas Fox, who was the original drummer of Motorhead.
Mm.
I met him at one of our gigs in Paris. He lives in Paris, so he was very keen to come on. We friended each other up online and stuff, but he seemed very up for it, so that would be good because I know a lot of my, there's a decent percentage of my listeners that come from the band and stuff like that, so I'm sure they'd be interested to hear from Lucas Fox. But yeah, but if there's anyone else you'd like me to get on, any drummers, let me know and I'll try my
Apart
best.
from Dave Grohl or Phil Collins, they're out of bounds.
You can have Phil Collins.
But if anyone, seriously though, if anyone can hook me up with Dave Grohl, or Lars Ulrich, or Travis Barker, if anyone's got like those kind of friends.
Do you know what? I reckon if Dave Grohl knew you wanted him on, he would come on.
I think that's also true.
Just don't let him listen to this.
Yeah. or any previous episodes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah,
Brilliant.
Thanks, guys.
Well, before we go, Neil.
Oh, you see,
I have been. Someone did DM me a very lovely letter, and I just want to read it out for you.
Okay.
Dear Mr Miserable, nice start. I always enjoy listening to your podcast whilst having a wank along the river. Sorry, autocorrect. I meant canal.
Oh fuck!
I totally agree. Sorry, everybody, we've lost them.
Oh,
What's up with
God.
you? Don't do that. Have a wank, quick wank by the canal. All right. I totally agree with you on people singing riffs at gigs.
Oh,
I once had some tosspot shouting the opening piano from Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home. Totally ruined what is meant to be a ballad. Hashtag gig cunt. Whatever that is.
right. Well, we can ask
So,
the expert here. Wait.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. G.S. Lave. So, Mr. G.S. Lave, thank you very much for that lovely tale of what you like to do besides a canal.
Dan, this comes from a past episode where Paul and Simon dislike it when fans sing along to the riffs when they're being played live. So when you're in a band and you're on stage, and if that crowd is singing one of your riffs before the singer kicks in, you have got to be happy with that, surely.
Yeah, I think as a performer, it's probably a cool thing.
Yeah.
If it's in time. If it's not in time, it puts me right off.
Well, there you go. There end of the lesson.
But if I'm watching a band and it's someone next to me shouting up, or the bloody guitar riff louder than what I can hear it from the stage, I can understand how that can be annoying.
Thank you.
No.
And it's the same with singing, really. I don't know.
But
If you're singing, out of key and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good in a way, but
Because you're all supposed to join in and enjoy it. So
yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to put restrictions on anyone.
No.
But yeah.
Well, we did it. We had a poll. We had a poll at the end of that podcast, and
Everybody agreed with me.
Nobody. No, I was the winner. The percentage of the votes were, I like it when people sing at gigs.
What percentage is this?
It was more than yours.
And that's what matters. Yeah, I don't know, yeah. It's kind of... I like... One thing I do like being a drummer is when I see people air drumming.
Yeah.
Parts I've written. So it is... Like, and that
I must tell you the story of the air drummer the last time I saw Rush, right? There was a guy in the balcony was air drumming. This was at the NEC in Birmingham to YYZ, the instrumental that they play. And there was a guy air drumming.
It's probably the best song.
And he got to the
There's
bit
only 5 to pick from.
There's a kind of gap where Neil Peart throws his stick up in the air and catches it. And the guy in the crowd threw his imaginary stick up in the air, and as it came down, he caught it and straight back into the song as it was playing. It was the most amazing moment.
Yeah, love it.
So what you're saying is, Paul, watching a mime is better than watching Rush. We could all do this.
Yeah, but you've got to do it in time. That's the thing.
I was way out then.
In time. You were way out. I mean,
yeah, way out. I don't know what I was doing there.
So here we are, once more, taking a chill in the metaphorical metal rocking chair. I won't keep you long, as we had a lengthy one this time, but Dane was a good guy, wasn't he? As he mentioned, he also has a podcast. I would suggest you seek it out. It's called Drum for the Song Podcast, and it's very good. He takes time to talk to drummers, and there are some very big names in there also. Check it out. Also, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons start a UK tour very soon. It starts on November the 21st at Stoke-on-Trent. It then passes through Glasgow, Leeds, Manchester. Myself and Simon will be there. Derby, Oxford, Exeter, London, Mid Glamorgan, Southampton, and finally at Birmingham. Check them out live. Check out all this time's bands. Check out all the bands that you love from the music we love. You need to listen to them, comment on social media, buy tickets, buy merch, do anything you can to support this scene. It's really important, and we really need to make sure this scene stays alive. Simon started his stand-up career this time, didn't he? We will see how that one goes. Well, as always, thank you very, very much for giving us your time. Leave any comments on the Facebook posts and I will add them to the comments compilation later in the month. We have a Christmas show coming up with a 2023 Top 5 album show next time. We are joined by our friends from the Monster Shop podcast. This should be fun. This should be interesting, to say the least. Cheers, guys. See you then, and sing along to the theme tune.